What's up, y'all? This is going to be a quick video, I hope, mostly just because I only have 11 minutes on my phone before I run out of time. So, I want to say this really quick. I'm getting dressed and going to the Lion King tonight. I'm very excited. Here's the deal. So, I was listening to my friend Rachel Rogers' podcast, Hello 7. It's a great podcast for entrepreneurs, women business owners, anybody who wants to level up their coinage in the world. Rachel Rogers is the smart lady to do that. Anyway, she was speaking to a guest, and it's really actually not about it, but it sparked this thing. And the guest was talking about this experience of being ostracized as a child because of being an immigrant and like feeling like she didn't belong. And then Rachel chimed in and was sharing, how as a biracial child, she felt the same way. Or she had similar experiences of not really belonging anyplace. And here's what I want us to understand, because I hear this a lot, and I think we use it sometimes as a way to exceptionalize an experience that is not exceptional. And I think it's important for us to recognize that this experience is not exceptional. I think it opens up some spaciousness around grace, if we could really get it. Most humans go through the experience of feeling like they don't belong. Unfortunately, part of that is that we have developed systems that separate us from our interconnectedness, and so consequently we feel like we don't belong, right? And that's intentional. It's intentional so you don't feel like you belong, but instead you'll buy the thing that makes you belong, right? Or you'll join the group that has power over so that you belong, right? There are all kinds of fascinating ways that we navigate this sense of not belonging in order to sort of soothe that experience from the outside in rather from the inside out, which is what radical self-love practice gives us access to. But the reason that I want to name this is because we use it so much to think of like our suffering as exceptional. And I think that it's important for us, and not that your suffering doesn't matter. Just because your suffering isn't exceptional doesn't mean it doesn't matter, right? Your suffering matters. Your pain matters. The things you went through as a child matter. They matter in so much as they give you information about the healing path that you need to take. But they're not special. I am blackity black, black, blackity black, black, black. You can't confuse me with nothing else but black. And I was called an African booty scratcher. I was called white for having an accent that didn't sound black enough in the urban spaces where I was. But I was also ostracized for being too black in the black spaces where I was, right? In white spaces where I was. These systems of oppression are designed to make us feel disconnected from one another and never enough and isolated. In addition, particularly inside of our childhood, we're dealing with circumstances where young people are parroting the messages that they've received, specifically around anti-blackness. Specifically. But here's the tea. I have a friend from Austria. She's lovely. She's beautiful. She's a white girl who looked like a white girl who looked like a white girl. And she was teased. She was teased for having one braid. She had one little braid, and the whole class, who all looked like her, teased her and made her feel like she didn't belong. And I'm saying that so that we can understand that we are not, that is one, the human condition inside of a container of oppression. And two, so that we can actually start using it to build relationship. To understand that the thing we're feeling is the thing all of us have felt. That the thing you are experiencing that feels like the most isolating, alone, nobody but me ass story is not only you, boo. It's not. It's everybody. And it's everybody based on whatever particular orientation of scarcity your particular community has ingested enough of. Whether that scarcity is you are the other because you are African and we are black. Whether that scarcity is you are the other because you are black and we are white. Whether that scarcity is because you are brunette and we are blonde. Whether that scarcity is you are fat and we are thin. It doesn't matter what orientation of domination we are finding ourselves, navigating. We're all navigating an experience of not belonging, and that experience of not belonging is rooted in these systems of oppression. So I want that to be a pathway for your healing. I want that to be a place where you're like, oh, right, I've been holding this grudge on the children in 5th grade who teased me, and I should probably let that go because they didn't feel like they belonged either. And because everybody else with me also didn't feel like they belonged, and the teacher didn't feel like she belonged, and nobody feels like they belong, because belonging is a condition of wholeness, and we live in a fractured society divided by oppression and marginalization. And so the answer to the experience of belonging is reconnection from the places where there has been disconnection. And if we can teach kids that, and if we can embrace that ourselves, I think we would all be more deeply enriched, vibrant, whole, belonging-ass community. So that's my invitation for you today, is to get rid of your story of not belonging. To go swap not belonging stories with 17 other people, because I assure you they all have them. And then get to the business of reconnecting with one another and one another's humanity. I think that's what radical self-love in community can look like. Bye, y'all.